Welcome. Welcome to the Service Hero Annual Customer Satisfaction Index Awards Night. And this is the fourth time that we hold this awards ceremony. We're really pleased to have you all here and to really see so many familiar faces from the different companies. I'd like to start with a special congratulations to the companies tonight who are amongst us, who are nominees in their individual sectors. You represent the top 5% of companies in Kuwait in customer satisfaction. And we are measuring over 300 companies across 17 sectors. And the companies that we're measuring are the largest companies in Kuwait. So for you to be here is a great attribute to the service culture that you have in your companies and the emphasis that you put. Whether you win or not tonight, you are winners in our eyes and, more importantly, in your customers' eyes. So thank you very much for coming. My name is Abu-Ghazaleh, and on behalf of the team at Service Hero, I'm really happy to see so many familiar faces tonight. And I'd like to start with a special hello to our advisory council who are sitting in the table in front of me, who have been with us since the beginning of our trip on Service Hero. And the advisory council plays two roles with us, or three roles exactly. The first is that they ensure that we stay neutral and independent. We really have no agenda in terms of which companies win. Our agenda is to pass on customer information in the cleanest way, and the advisory council, by being there, helps us do that. So our independence. The second, they help us maintain our credibility, because we have published and we're very transparent about the procedures that we follow in the index. And we have to share them with our advisory council at each and every step of the way. And so they ensure that we maintain our credibility. And the third is that the information that we offer companies, because in the end, we are in the business of providing detailed reports to companies about how their customers evaluate them. And if these detailed reports weren't important or relevant to companies, we wouldn't survive. So thank you, Advisory Council, for that. I'd also like to welcome some consumers who are in the audience tonight. We exist because customers have taken 3 or 4 minutes of their valuable time to assess different companies in Kuwait. And we decided this year to invite some customers who have been loyal to doing that, who have done that on iPads, on phones, on laptops, and rated companies for the past 4 years. So thank you very much to all of the customers that are out in the audience tonight. And finally, I'd like to say أهلا وسهلا لزملائنا بالصحافة. مشواركم كمان معنا كتير مهم، لأنه أنتوا ساعدتونا بإبراز أهمية مؤشر على مستوى الدولة لجودة الخدمة، وممنونين جدا لكم لنشر الوعي بين الشركات وبين السوق يعني عامة. So tonight, I'd like to start with a story. And the story is about the importance of building a service culture, because essentially, for a company to be a leader in service, it needs to have a very strong and rigorous service culture. And the story might be familiar to some of you as I tell it. Some of you might say, I've heard this, I've read this before. It's a story about a family who promises to take their child to an amusement park. And the child is 4 or 5 years old, and they drive in the car, they arrive at the amusement park, they get out of the car, they go in, and they buy the very expensive ticket that allows them to do all the rides in the park. And the minute they walk into the park, this little 5-year-old boy first smells and then sees popcorn. And what do 5-year-olds do with popcorn? I want popcorn. So this little child started nagging. I want some popcorn, I want some popcorn. And they said, no, we'll ride on a few rides first, and then we'll buy you the popcorn. So they do a few rides, and does this child stop nagging? No. As anyone that's had a 5-year-old knows, they can be very, very persistent. And so eventually, they buy the child the popcorn, and they're standing in line for the next ride when suddenly the popcorn is spilled and the child is crying very, very loud. By now, some of you might realize what story I'm talking about. And the child cannot stop crying, and the parents can't do anything about it, and everyone's getting upset. Imagine standing in line, there's a crying child. So what happens next is one of the cleaning janitors in the park comes to the child and kneels in front of the child so the cleaning janitor's eyes are at the same level as the child. And he says to him, "Mickey Mouse sent me over to you." And immediately, the child is quiet. And then the cleaning janitor says to him, "Mickey Mouse would like to ask you a secret question. Can you keep a secret?" And the child, by now, his tears are beginning to dry up, and he's shaking his head, "Yes, I can keep a secret." And the janitor says to him, he noticed that you spilled your popcorn, and he's wondering if it's okay for me to give you some popcorn instead of it. And the child goes, "Yes." And the cleaning custodian takes from behind his back a fresh bucket of popcorn and hands it over to the child. He saved the day. Anyone that's had a crying 5-year-old knows how pleased it is to have a 5-year-old stop crying. Not only are the parents happy, but all the people that are watching have seen this amazing bounce back, as they call it, in service. This is a very well documented policy followed by, you guess it? Who's the entity that follows this policy? Who has Mickey Mouse? Disney. They've been using the popcorn policy for over 20 years. It's very well documented at Disney University. In fact, it's in the book, Disney University, written by one of their chief trainers, Doug Lipp. And it's an example of how companies, leading companies that are so obsessed with service, build a culture. And if anyone knows the 5 words that Disney survives around, there are 5 words. Does anyone know them? I'm wondering. Anyone's read the book? I think somebody from Shaya team might have, because we were sharing notes about that. The statement is, the happiest place on earth. 5 words. And everything at Disney University is revolving around, how can I build the happiest place on earth? How can I teach the cleaning custodian? Can you imagine? The janitor is usually the lowest member in a company's organization. And for the cleaning custodian, A, to be empowered, and then B, to be so well trained on how to please, is amazing testament to how strong this culture is. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are celebrating the companies in Kuwait that are able to build, some better than others, and some still need to work on it, but are building service cultures that are lasting, that are building cultures that satisfy their clients and also build loyalty with their clients. And we know that because tonight we're celebrating some repeat winners, and I'll be announcing those with some of the team members later on, we know that some of you are far ahead on that, and we salute you all for that. I think there's a programs in front of you on the desk. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to step aside. We're going to watch a brief video about Service Hero, and then we'll be introducing our guest speaker for the evening. And then we'll share some of the highlights of what we found in the Service Hero Index this year. And then finally, we'll be awarding the winners. So I'm going to start with the video, please.